Right. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, hopefully things are recording. I wanted to make an effort over Christmas, try and finish off my 2016-17 project. Didn't happen. What else didn't happen? Everything didn't happen. But it's back to work tomorrow. Anyway, I had a limited bit of success last night. Something I've been meaning to do for ages is to improve upon my Commodore 36. Commodore 36, you say? Well, yes. Well, rather like I've got a insert picture, if I remember, a stack of Spectrums in a rack. I also run a VIC-20 and a C16 in a rack. But it's got to the stage now where I need more than that. I need to take some of the weight away from my Daily Drive C64. So, what's that? I dug out some bits the other night. I tried to repair this PCB. Couldn't really be bothered to spend much time on it because time is precious. This one's got the classic I've got no sound, but the sound chip works. So there's something getting dropped out. I think actually it's got a CPU fault. Is that the CPU? Yeah, there it is. That's where they are. Yeah, I think it's actually got a CPU fault on that one. So yeah, I might go back to that board one day, but funnily enough, I've got quite a few buggered up old boards. But then I came across this one last night, which was no picture. And I turned it on for a bit, and I didn't bother recording anything. There was no point. But lo and behold, after I plugged it in, put the dead test on it, let it run for a bit, and then moved my hand whilst I was getting my scope out, I burnt myself on the RAM chip. So, guess what? One RAM chip fault. That is now in a socket. There we are on it. Yeah, so yes, I'm running two different makes of chip as well. Ooh, apparently that's bad. But not for my purposes. Marina cartridge, very useful. Yeah, so anyway, the plan is to rackify this as he looks around looking for the keyboard thing he knocked up very late last night. Where the hell's that gone? Right, he's back. But this time he found the cable that was literally right next to him. So, with the rack balls, you only need what you need. I'm probably going to commonify the video and the I/O on them, and maybe the joysticks, maybe not. All of these units will actually be able to run on their own, separately, separate power supplies, separate output, separate recordings. I'll record everything I run, just in case I'm not in the room and something fails. But yeah, that's the keyboard. This is my C64 keyboard replacement, and what we've got is Shift and Commodore on the far edges and run stop in the middle. So all you should have to do to get it to boot is either Shift run stop or Commodore run stop, which fast load will do, and then it will just boot from SD2. I do exactly the same thing on my +4. +4, you say? Yes, this is a +4. This does deload if you press those buttons there. Quite useful. But yeah, this was a C16. It's now a +4. Replacement ROM. That's just the standard ROM in there without a proper sticker. And obviously this cable is a lot longer than it needed to be. But yes, this was just sort of hanging around on the place. So there's that. When it comes to the VIC-20, the best computer in the world, this is the only one that'll have a real keyboard plugged in. Again, I've been using this one for years. It's got my multi-ROM switcher on it. Might focus, might not. Too much light, not enough light, who knows. And yeah, with the switches on that, you can test a selection of the Futures 8-bit cartridges available from futures8bit.com without actually booting it into anything. So I've got Jiffy DOS and a selection of the ROMs. Clicky, clickety, click. And that's all it does. Leaving the tin hat off the video because, to be honest, I've never been happy with this board video. I need to look at it. Yeah, no metal shield, obviously, for the cartridge slot because they're just too grabby and it scratches the cartridges. I don't want customers' cartridges scratched before they leave here. LEDs have all been glued down. That's basically that. So anyway, yeah, this I will be calling my Commodore 100, by the way, because 64 plus 20 plus 16 is 100, right? Yeah, maths. But yeah, actually this is a +4. So if we were doing it with memory, you know, again, do the 128 plus, was it 5 or 3.5 for the VIC? Yeah. So 130 something. Commodore 130 something. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I do actually need to use this contraption. So I better whack it together. First things third. Move those there. First things third, I'm going to do a temporary install. Yeah, so, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? I think I took a photograph of this. Yeah, so from pin... The camera. Yeah, from pin 20 backwards is how I do these things, because I don't have a 20-way one of these. In fact, I've had to glue 2 connectors together. So there's only actually 4 solder points, so you only need 4 wires, because we've got 2 commons, 9, 20, and then 7 and 9 is the alternates. So all I should have to do is plug that in from pin 20 backwards. Yes, that's how I did that. And just, I think I'm just going to whack those wires in there, and the excess wire from the keyboard can live. You shouldn't really have like extra wires dangling around on these things. You're just asking for noise and trouble, but you know. Again, this isn't final on this. I might end up, I tend to have a Jiffy DOS ROM in my 64s. For some reason this board doesn't have one yet. Don't always use it, because causes trouble with tape drives, etc. But it's bloody handy to have when you are, well, when you've got a lot of things to do. Yeah, but obviously the Epic Fast Load will do a perfectly good job for everything else. So I tend to just use an Epic because it works. Obviously the VIC-20's got Jiffy DOS installed. Look at that. That is like neat and tidy. Look at that. Not bad. Right. Anyway. So yeah, I want that so it's just accessible. So I don't have to look for it. I can feel the frickin' buttons, because this is going to be in my test rack. Shame I didn't glue those buttons straight in the first place, isn't it? Yes, they're all captured in Captain Tape with hot glue. The king of materials, except for when it's not suitable for the task. But yeah, stuff like this, it's bob on for. Because anything you do with hot glue is temporary. If you want it to be. Alright, that should give that enough mechanical grip. Click, 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 click. Yeah, so that's the entire keyboard. Yeah, I don't think I've missed anything. Yep, good. Tend to push these things sideways rather than down. You in? You're in. You're in. Okay, so... Oh yeah, good. I've actually got the right tools here for a change. Let me think. So if that's going to go through like that, there's going to be a middle board on the bed. Yes, that's it. That's it. Yeah, so we've got 2 sets of pillars here I've knocked up. 2 different lengths. Gives it a reasonable gap in between each board. But the main thing is the more you do, the more stable it will be, and it won't fall over. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm sure some of you already know this, but most Commodore things fit in other Commodore cases because they use the same case for many, many years. So you get the luxury of common screw points. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's one thing I need to actually check. I'm going to check this now. Do you know what? I've not checked this up until now. This would be a schoolboy error. Imagine I'm running all of these at the same time and they all actually are on the same chassis earth. But the chassis earth isn't earth. Maybe where I'm attaching these pillars is 5 volts. That would be bad, wouldn't it? So let's just check this is not 5 volts. Great. So that one is grained, 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 grained. All of the grounds. Right, that's a check. So you saw me do that. Yes, but that is the music in my head all of the time. I'll have to hazard a guess here that I'm going to go for that hole. That hole? Because that one's where the metal work would be for the tin plate that's missing on this board. So I'm going to go for that one. Yeah, another way of doing this would be a nice block of wood with some lines kind of like that. Like lasers. Ooh. Right, so that's that. So that's the 4 main pillars that should fit everything. So now my plan is to put the 16 in the middle, which I think makes sense. And the reason for it, on me thinking it makes sense. It's already awesome, isn't it? That's already awesome, right? God, this is so wide. I need a CPC 464 cam. Excellent. Oh, right. Okay, I was just checking. I was wondering if I was going to get that extra pillar there. I will, and I shall. Ding. Probably glaring the merry smeg out of everything, yeah? Oh. Yeah, so literally as soon as I've done this and just double checked it still functions, because I have obviously done the boards now, this isn't one of these. I was kind of hoping to do an actual C64 repair video, because I don't really repair any things anymore. If I need something desperately, I will buy it, or if I need something to work and I'm not available to fix it, I'll just send it over to Ian at Mutant Caterpillar, because he knows what he's doing. But yeah, like I say, on this one, that got so hot, that was an easy fix. Hence no video. Right, so yes, look at that. Right, now, oh, here we go. So these little fellas I should really lock together, but you know, I'll actually go and find my actual spinner. I've got specific spinners for these, of course I have, but are they here? No. Can't even find my pliers today. Anyway, doesn't need to be too tight because it needs to come apart at some point, I'm sure. Finger tight will be fine. So I'm hoping that these pillars, which is the same as the other ones, but they don't have the screw on the end, which means I can screw in. So it's screw on the back there and screw on the front there, you see. There. Hello. No, can't get to that one. My YouTube videos are not decent, not even slightly. Just me recording something that I'd otherwise do without the camera on. I've got to sort this light out. Look at it. It's just so cobbled together in here. I'm not supposed to do recordings in here. Got a better room for that downstairs. Right. Okay, so let's double check. The keyboard is there. Click, 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 click. Those are there. Click, 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 click. They've worked out roughly the same place. That appears to be flat enough there in the corner. That'll do. Nice gap between the boards. Could have gone tighter. But, you want to be able to grab things. And the other thing is, the wider this becomes, the more stable it will be when this is wedged up on my wedge. Now, that's something I didn't do, did I? But I don't think I need to do that on this. I know I can actually check with my eyes. Yeah, there's got an obvious ground route. On the back of some of these boards, or in fact most of them, that's 5 volts there. Ground there. 5 volts all the way along there. So yeah, you really should be aware. So here we go, and the best computer of all time, of course. Dear Commodore, you bastards. Right, so that's a problem. Oh, hello. No, that one's good, that one's good, that one's good, that one's good. Right, so there's only that one there. Right, judging by that, I'm going to need something with a hell of a bit of thermal mass to shift that. So let's go for my big old-fashioned Maplin's iron. It takes ages to warm up. Whilst I do a quick ground check. I'll turn on my other iron as well, which takes like 2 seconds because it's better. What do I need? Multimeter. Where did it go? How can you lose a fluke multimeter? There it is. Right, some grained. We're going down there. There's grained. There's ground. There's grained. 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 Let's check the back of this ball because I trust nothing. Trust nothing. Right, cool. All ground. All fine. Okie dokie, picking a pokey. So, A, B, and C. A, I need some water on my pad. Everything in arm's reach if you spend as amount of hours as me making stuff. Right, fingers crossed. Hey, there we go. I was expecting that to cause trouble. There ain't much thermal mass around that bugger, is there? Let's try the bang technique. Bang. There we go. The bang techniques work. Done. Right. A little bit of crappy flux and solder there. Yeah, how bizarre. Oh well, flow soldering for you. Or wave soldering, as it's also called. Right. I'm sure I had a few screws in. Anyway, not going to bother with any washers, because as I've already checked, we are ground. Have I gone mad and moved all the screws? Because I had all of the screws out. No. Oh well. Back to my little stash. How many are we going to need? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh. So at the end of this should be nice and rigid. We'll sit in my rack now for the next. I mean, this VIC-20 board is VIC board number 2. I used to use a CR until that failed. And there's a couple of quirks on the CR that you won't see actually on the 2-pin. So I ended up going for the CR for the next test bench replacement with its inferior power supply. And yes, I do run an original power supply because that's the best thing to do. Customers have all got rubbish power supplies. You need to test your gear with their rubbish power supplies. Obviously, and I even use a VIC-20 one on this one for the extra danger. You know those horrible black ones that burn everything out. This one is actually using one. And also, I actually dug out a 64 power supply the other day. I'd marked as good, marked down the result numbers on it, and when I plugged it in, poof went the 5-volt rail. That was that. Not the end of the world. That's where these screws went. I remember. Right, so there we go. That is Commodore 100 fact. There you go. Light, all good. I suppose I should actually check to see if these buttons work at the very least. Oh, I have got 9 volts here. Of course I've got 9 volts. I've got everything here. Look at that. Ready to go. So I can even do this 16, which runs off of the Commodore... No, that's not the word, is it? Sinclair power supply. Available from futures8bit.com, of course. Which is my own power supply. Which I get made. Yeah. So, I think I should grab my mouse. I should... Oh, the capture on this desk doesn't work very well, so I apologise for if it's janky as hell, because it might well be janky as hell. Yeah, so video cable. There we go. Right. Well, there's the C16 in the middle there. Sorry, the +4, as it now is. We don't have any electricity there. Let me just press that. No. Let me reach through to there. Put the plug on the wall. Press that. Oh, there we go. That's on. Double power switch here. There's one there, yeah. We got an LED. There we go. And a +4 in the corner. Cool. So if I press these very quickly. Oh yeah, it's a bit janky, but there you go. Look, that does load from tape. He just noticed. So that means the ROM on it isn't quite the same as what I was thinking. I was thinking it was going to be the +4 ROM, which defaults to. I mean, I've used this. I use this a lot, and I've totally forgotten how it works. So yeah, that is defaulting to cassette basically. So I'm going to have to redo that with an extra couple of pins to get it to load from disk, or change the ROM. I'll probably change the ROM, to be honest, in fairness. But yeah, there you go. Didn't think about that, so there you go. I'm not perfect. Right, so that's that. That works. Anyway, so that's good news. C64 power supply there. Plug that in. Yeah. Plug that in there like that. There's a power LED over here on this one because it's a C64C. Hey! There we go. Right, so that's on. Let's just give some video across that one. There we go. And we should have a light. As you can see, what you should do when you make things is test them, because that keyboard is wrong. What have I done wrong? Probably using Google. I used somebody else's keyboard matrix to look at what pins I should do. Oh well, I'll go back to that in a bit. VIC-21 should just still work. It better do, because we've got some VIC stuff. Avalanche. We've got some VIC stuff to test in a bit. That LED is on, believe it or not. 3, 2, 1. We're back in the room. So there we go. Look, Jiffy DOS and everything. So yeah, there we are then. This is my Commodore 100. Obviously, there's no power supply to that one now. But yeah, these will all be plugged in to my capture stroke test rack. They all have their own displays anyway, you see. But I might common them and then split them out again so I can have it either way. I don't know. Obviously, I need to look up what the hell I've done wrong there. Let's use somebody else's information. Oh, no picture. There we go. Nice picture on that one, though. Let's give it a dead test as I'm here. Yeah, so apart from trying to figure out the keyboard nonsense, handy thing is, of course, I've only got to take the 5 screws out of the back and that board will totally come off. So you can actually get to all of these boards by only removing one set of screws. Clever, huh? It's kind of the plan, but, you know, whether I knew that last night when I was thinking about this, or whether I've just made that up on the spot right now, answer those questions on a postcard. So yeah, there we are. Anyway, yeah, I wish I'd put different LED. I was going to do different LEDs, but I don't really want these things glaring. I tend to put a module on the user ports on these, which isn't not good for this one, is it? But to give me a voltage indicator, because like I said, I use old power supplies because that's what the customers tend to do. And if your stuff that you build won't work with the rankest old power supplies that are still knocking around out there, you're in for a hiding, basically. So there you go. I'm quite pleased with that. Look, that is my Commodore 100. Fact. Anyway, find my mouse. Right, I'm back again now. Quickly taking this apart and spotted my schoolboy error. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. That's supposed to be 9. So I should have put a 4-way on the end there. But yeah, simple maths job. Screwed up the maths. So yeah, this can be resolved by adding more pins and then gluing it all together and reconnecting it, which is what I'm going to do. Right, that's the pins fiddled around with, so I've added an extra gap there using super glue because I don't have the right connectors. Feel free to comment below. Right, so if I turn this on again, I've got to learn how my own kit works again. So yeah, the back 2 buttons makes it do cassette load, which is shift run stop, sorted. The middle button should do a run stop though. But maybe that's normal behaviour. So with a fast load plugged in, the front 2 should do load. No. That's bizarre. So we've definitely got those keys working, expand, but not. You know, fun fact, if you do stuff at 4 or 5 in the morning, partly from memory, partly from Google, you will search for the wrong information and do things wrong. But worse than that, you'll probably do it wrong. So it turns out the second attempt at the getting that right, well, that was right. But it was me. And yeah. So not only did I not manage to count backwards from 20 correctly and missed pin 9, that add it back in, I also got white and grey round the wrong way. There we are. Anyway, so yeah, I shall show you this in operation now. So here we go. There's pin 20 and pin 7. So this one is Commodore key. No, that one's Commodore key. There we go. And then the next combination will be run stop in the middle. There we go. And then if I move that pin there, that should be shift. Hooray! So yeah, the reason why it was kind of working is because the that I had moved the common from one key to another. So you know, that's why it kind of worked in a kind of a way. So let's go. Oh yes, how to remove hot glue IPA. Fantastic. Cover it in IPA, just give it a chance to soak down any smallest fissure down the edge of the hot glue, and it'll literally just peel away lovely. Doesn't really matter what material you're doing it with either, actually. Ugh, stuff everywhere. Okay, so if I turn this on, we have a picture. Right, so the outer 2 keys should be up lowercase. Lovely, like they were before. And on their own they do nothing, but together. There we go. So one side will be Commodore run stop, the other side will be Commodore shift run stop. So let's try these 2. There we go. So this didn't work on its own because the commons are wrong, so this should break it. There we go. And that should be Commodore run stop, which so yeah, we don't know, but the Epic will show us what's what there. If you haven't got an Epic fast load and you use a disk drive, you don't have Jiffy DOS, get one of those. Right, uppercase, lowercase, so one way round, so I'm doing left and middle. Okay, so it's cassette, fingers crossed this one will do disc. There we go. So I've got disc there, boink, yeah, and cassette there. See? It's nearly as if he knows what he's doing. It just took a few attempts because, you know. Right, so that's that done. And no, I can't use one of these for the VIC-20 because I do the PU with the VIC-20, and that requires more things on the keyboard, function keys and stuff for the full test that I do. So that's the only machine that's going to get a full keyboard. This one is going to do away with everything. It's set for loading. There we are. So yeah, all I've got to do now is glue that back in. But yeah, as I'm here now reworking my work, I'm going to try and figure out what to do next with the C16, which isn't operating how I need it to. It's 1:30. I've got stuff to do. I'm creating a backlog for myself. Oh well, anyway, yeah, back in a bit with the next cut. Reaches for screen, presses button. Aha, right. Hopefully I'm back. Let me just move that window like that. I could get rid of it, but no production values over here in this room when it comes to this stuff. Now, I've been packing orders actually, but I've just come back to this. Now, it turns out that with the loading function that I wanted that isn't working out. Let's see if we still got energy in here. Did I turn that off up there? I turned it off up there, this one. 4 ways of turning this off. Okay, there we go. Right. So yeah, as it turns out, I think the ROM in here is either something slightly doohickey done back in the day and I can't remember, or just straight the C16 ROM. And I think the ROM that was put in here in the day was when I was testing cassettes, and that's all I cared about, hence the cassette only load. Anywho, cobbled together a new ROM. There it is. And in there is basically what I would call the +4 and the C16 ROM. So one will boot to cassette load, and the other one should boot to disk load, hopefully. So again, as per usual, how many of my videos don't get out at all? But yeah, this hasn't been tried. All I've done is burn the ROM. And not even made a sticker for it. All I know is that it's verified. Pin 27 would be the pin generally to lift. Right. Not a chip extractor, but because it's got the kink on it, it will sit on the board reasonably flat. You see, it's nearly as if it's designed for the job. That's where it's had the RAM upgrade. This used to be a C16, it's now a C264, I think they would have called it back in the day. Alright, anywho, so that's that out. So what I need to do, oh yeah, let's have a look in my, oh look, this is my box of Commodore chips I've yet to throw away. Notice it's not even an anti-static, terrible. But yeah, none of those chips I would regard as fabulous. Right, so ideally I want some cheap ass, nasty, wouldn't use it on anything else. There we go, lost its screw. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Alright. Yep. 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 Remove a bit of hot glue. Like so. That should go there like that. If I'm lucky. Right, yeah, that'll do, won't it? Got my buttons, got my switch there, nearly mechanical. Lashly. Right, hot glue gun on. Don't fall for that mistake. Soldering iron is on. See, other people would prep. What pieces of wire should I use? We've got this bit that sort of kind of needs using up. Let's use that up. So I'm going to need 3 poles. This PC really isn't enjoying doing this stuff anymore. It does not really complain. It's complaining. Right, we are going to use those colours. Zhong. Yong. Alright. Zup, zup. That is horrible. Oh, can you imagine how much noise that's picking up? Ugh. I will shorten it one day. But yeah, that was a cable I already had. So don't blame me. Right, that's more like it. About that much. There's a magnet there for things like that. These are like razors, but if you try and do anything wrong with them, as in use them as pliers, the ends snap off quite quickly, and they're not cheap. So yeah, don't use these for doing up bolts. Right, I'm going to use some nasty fluxy solder here. This stuff's like stuff we would have used back in school. It's the fluxiest, ugh, but it's really good for tinning wires. Ding. Not bad. Right, that's that end. The other end. So the other end's going to need switching between 2 pins and ground. That's right. I don't want these in a while. Normally these sort of ROM swappers is just for like Jiffy DOS. It's the only time I really mess with ROM swappers. Oh yes. How many people are OCDing over that? Of course, everything else I do custom labels for, but my stuff, if it's even got a bit of sellotape on it, it's amazing. Let's get a bit of black gaffer tape on there. There we go. Pin 27 would be lifted, and then I'm going to take a ground. Should be able to take a ground off of there. So 27 is for the what am I part of it. So if I put that in like that now. See that? There you go. So pin 27 is not in the socket. And then the idea is, now I'd prefer to have my proper. I've got so much stuff. I've gone. I was in the middle of building things, but just chucked a load of stuff there, which means I can't find. Oh, there it is. Right. There it is. Right in front of me. This is the better solder. If I can't get the solder I'd normally like to use, Durator purple solder, very good. Not too fluxy. Fluxy's a little bit toxic on the lungs, but the flux actually works, which is more important than anything else. Right, so get some of that there. 5 volts should be there. Right. So as you can see, I've just done that in the socket like an absolute animal. Dodgy focusing. Who cares? Just, you know, nobody's going to watch this. Right, so lost my switch, refound my switch. Right. So we use the ratty end over at the switch. One. Oh, awful. I've cut straight into that there. Oh well, hot glue will save me. Da 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 da. Right, I'm going to go back for my fluxiest solder in the world for these nasty great big connections. Oh yeah, by the way, you shouldn't really mix flux, but hey, again, This is for me. But yeah. Camera zooms in, of course it doesn't. You know, I'm connecting 3 pins, but I don't really need 3 pins, do I? Because I'm going to get... No, I'll connect the 3 anyway. My brain isn't working. Because all I'm actually doing is pulling 1 pin to ground. So, yeah, I don't actually need 3 pins at all. Yeah, 1 pin to ground. Yeah, that is literally all that needs to happen. Yeah, so anyway, we've got an extra wire on there we don't now need, but hey, meh. Meh, meh, meh. Oh. Made for the job. Look at that. So I'll get a slitherette of hot glue under there in a sec. I'm really annoyed by that now. Sorry, it's no good. It's annoying me that much. Was the yellow wire I said was rubbish. I'm going to take the yellow wire off. Whee! There we go. Gone. Wire bin. All the cool kids have a wire bin, you know. Alright, how hot's some hot glue? Quite hot. Hot glue in your face. Yeah, don't want it set back too far because remember the screw holes are going to be used. Ow. Hot glue. Awful and great stuff. It really is. Right. So I'll leave gravity to work on that for a bit. Yes. These hot glue guns. Get these. Yes. Most glue guns do actually last forever anyway, but yeah, they're seriously, these are superb. Yeah, I've had cheap ones in the past that have lasted forever, but they like crack and leak and stuff. These don't leak unless you break the seal by pulling the glue out whilst it's cooling down. Stupid thing to do. Right. So yeah. Two of those like that. Oh, what am I going to need? 4.7 I'd normally use on a pull-up. Use anything. 10 meg would do it. 4.7k. There we go. We all have things of things. One day I'll do the tour, but you know, I'd have to hide all the slave labour and all that first. Right. Blah, 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 blah. So if I'm lucky, I should just put my tin of Red Bull there. No, that won't work. Solder there. If I'm lucky, I should be able to do something reasonably reasonable there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go top, middle, bottom on that. So if I go like that, and then go like that, and then go like, these pliers are ruined. Somebody's been using them to pull chips out, you know. These are expensive, so expensive the brown's rubbed off. Right, like that. And then that one I'm going to leave long. That one I'm not. Cut that off now. Because what I reckon on If I fit it like that, lovely and lovely, that's pretty good. Put a little kink in that. Slightly further down. Intricate stuff going on here. You can see this. Intricate bending. Alright. Use any solders that are available. Ow, ow, ow. That's so hot. Oh. I think I've got carrier boards for these left over from when I used to use these, but you know, when it's your own stuff. Burnage. Yeah, when it's your own stuff, you just make it work, including damn hot fingers. Right, connected. I can actually smell a bit of flesh there. Nice. How are we doing? Sorry about the zoomy thing. It annoys me because I'd like to do a better job of stuff like this, but you know, it's not what I'm here for. Ding. Come on, focus, you get. One day I'll learn what actually triggers the focus on this, or get some sort of magic controller. But yeah, that did pop into focus for a brief second, I'm sure. Right. So yeah, all we need to do now then is get the grained, connect the grain to the grained, and the not ground to the not ground, and I should have a ROM switcher in operation. So yeah, I'll tag that on like that. Tagged. I shall get rid of those tiny bits of hot glue whiskers. Right, so that's that done, and then when I was checking my videos earlier, yeah, the sound wasn't coming out. This is all in my head. Oh, I'm going to have to shorten that, aren't I? Do you like fumes? There you go. Not quite as neat as it should be, but as long as it works. Which you're about to find out. Ready for the disappointment. So yeah, there we go then. So the idea is there. Pin 27. Pin 27 has got a little bit of a spike of material there. Pin 27 of that chip's being pulled high by the 5 volts from pin 28, right? So when you flickety-doo-dah the switch on, it's shorting ground, or connecting ground, I should say, to that leg of the EEPROM, which is then pulling it to ground, which is basically cancelling that circuit out, right? And that flicks it from one side of the ROM to the other. Yeah? All right. Get it? Got it? Good. So now, when I get to just silently delete this video because this doesn't work as I power this on. So yeah, so now what I should have, the way to tell the difference between the two ROMs will be whether it comes up with deload or load when I press these buttons. Remember, this is for my test stuff. It won't make a lot of sense to you lot, but it makes a lot of sense to me. Right, that's really, really white. What's happened to the border? Oh, there we go. Like I say, this capture thing's rubbish. Right, so we've got load at the moment by pressing... Yeah. There you go. So that's shift. That's shift. That's run stop. Right, so if I press that one, it should run stop. There you go. Now if I switch it off, oof, flick switch, oof, switch it back on. Good start. And press that one, and then that one. There we go, deload. There you go. So obviously it can't connect to the device, it's not plugged in. Remember, this is my test gear I'm building here. I mean, this, I could play games on this one because it, you know, will load. But for my daily drive stuff, I've got other machines, but for gear for testing. So there you go then. That's that dual romified, which is nice. These are a couple of bits of hot snot. Just to stop any weirdness happening with these wires. Alright. Yeah, so that's that then. Cool. So back is disc, forward is tape. I will forget that right now. But yeah, so there we go. That's that dual functioning. Check that again. And that's cassette. Turn it off. Flick the switch. Turn it on. Press the 2. Disc load. Sweet. There we go. Right, excellent. It's amazing, isn't it? A working TED machine. And the best thing about the C16, and the reason why this machine exists, is +4s die. They just die, and I think it's because of the really poor power supplies more than anything else. But obviously they suffocate as well, because they're a tiny case. These last longer. They just do. Even though they've got a really crude power supply normally, and you know, nasty little reg, they're just better design. So I'm hoping that rather than constantly, it's the bodge to do the memory mod, constantly have to be aware that my +4 could die at any stage, I can just use this. Right, so let's get the sandwich back together then. How did I do this? Anybody remember? The board on the back was that's the Vic board, which is the front board. Right, so let's get the front board back down at least. That's something I can do. I've not had a drink in ages. I don't actually like these energy drinks. These must. There we go. I think I'm doing this right. It's been several hours since I last fiddled with this lot. There we go. There we go. And there we go. This is how B.A. Baracus used to do up nuts and bolts in an emergency, if you remember. A lot of this. I pity the fool. See? At least one of you will remember that scene. Jewellery, jewellery. That was him, wasn't it? Not that board. It's like a... What's going on here? Look at this one. Not many components left on you, is there? Hey? Anyway, yes. The correct board is right next to me and I wasn't just looking there. So yes, I'm going to leave the no picture sticker on that because, you know, why not? There we go. Everybody needs a Commodore sandwich. Where's the screwdriver? That's the one I want. Yeah, Ben Heck, I've had this screwdriver since I was about young. There we go. That is my completed Commodore 100. Everybody should have a Commodore 100. Right, so I suppose I better check to see if this still all functions. Yeah. Rather than just presume. It's a shame I haven't got this rigged up in a way that I can like demonstrate its beauty. But this will be installed on the rack as a device for testing stuff when required. But yeah, it will see. Right, so there's the 64 power lights over there. Also got the epic fast load in there. Look. Right, so that's that good. And the keyboard is. Oh, yep, keyboard is functioning as required. Lovely. That's my keyboard up there for that one. VIC-20 actually gets a full-size keyboard on it because this is actually my daily drive VIC-20. Yay! So yeah, this actually gets a full-size keyboard, so that's no problemo at all. And then obviously the C16 smack in the middle there. Wish I had more of these LEDs knocking around the place. I appear to have used them all now. And there's the C16 with its dual BIOS. So there we are. Yes, ultra rare, one of a kind. One of a kind. Well, it is now. Need to zoom this out more. I can't. This is like having an Amstrad in front of me. I can't get it all on the screen in one direction. I can get it on the screen that way. But yeah, my Commodore 100. Not the project that was supposed to happen over Christmas, but as per needs must. And this jumped forward. And it's not really a project. It's just a thing. So anyway, yes, if you like these things, come back and see more. Like, subscribe. Or failing that, do something more interesting. Goodbye.